Welcome to another episode of Manchester RP PD Department training videos. In today's video we'll be looking at the Radial menu for police. We have a few options available to us. Let's start in the police actions. So, pretty self-explanatory GSR test. If you need to test anyone for gun residue, you'll be able to click this and it will give you a feature to test for negative or positive. Your MDT, which is explained in a separate video, you'll be able to bring up that. You've got impound and seize. Impound and seize is where someone has fled from a scene or a vehicle that you need to keep hold of for a while. You'll be able to seize it and it'll be going into the police impound garage, which is in a separate video again. You then have send to depot. This will send it to the impound and it will come up on the screen with a box. You can then type in the amount that you want to send it to the depot for. There will be rules around how much money you can send vehicles to, so watch out for them. Check status. This is checking someone's clothing, if they've got any wet clothes for instance, or they may have some residue on them or any blood and stuff like that. You then go into the more. You've got cooldown and remove cooldown. Cooldown is putting on a 20-minute cooldown. So if you're in a bank scene or for instance the PD's overstretched, you'll be able to put that on and all crime will be stopped for that period of time. And simply remove it by remove cooldown. You have take driver's license, pretty self-explanatory, and take cash. This is for an option, for instance, if someone's carrying a large amount of cash. To find how much someone's carrying, when you do the search feature, which I'll show you in a second, it will pop up in orange up here to tell you how much cash they currently have on them. Check health, pretty self-explanatory again. It tells you if you've got an injured person, if they've got any injuries and what injuries they have, so whether it's leg, bruising fist, stuff like that. Fine, this is your on the spot fine. So if you're at a traffic stop for instance, or you want to just give someone a quick and easy fine, you click this, a box comes up and you type in again how much you want to fine them for. Emergency button, this is your panic button. You click this and it will come up in dispatch to say that I'm needing immediate assistance and it tells you the location. I'll tell you a little bit more about the dispatch in a second, but for now let's carry on with the Radial. So again, you've got an emergency button, and then in more you've got stop traffic normal and take gun license. Ignore this one for now because there's another option for it. Take gun license, again pretty self-explanatory, but I believe there's a new system coming with the hunting license, stuff like that. So for now ignore it. Okay, so the last two options we have in here is frisk and search. When you are searching someone under whatever section that you need to, firstly do a frisk. Frisk basically pats them down, checks to see if they've got any items that may stick, stab or poke you. If it does, it'll come up in your top right and says something that resembles a weapon. Or if they don't have any weapons, then it will say nothing out of the ordinary. After that, you'll be able to then search them and it will bring up the F2 menu and it will have their items here and it will have your items here. You'll be able to then change the inventory and drag across. Make sure that you scroll down because their pockets can be quite full and quite long and they may hide stuff in the bottom. That is your police actions menu. Moving on to your police objects. You have a lot of objects to spawn in. Let's just do the cone for instance, and it will spawn you a cone. You'll then be able to pick up the cone and pick it up that way, and of course you can then test out all the other options you've got available to you. Moving around, I'll leave the police canine option for a separate video because it will need to be trained and only authorized dog handlers will be able to use this. Radio channels. In here you'll be able to access the radio. We will be using radios 1 to 5 along with the NHS. When you're driving along, you'll still be able to access this and change it really quickly. So this is really handy for us to be able to use. So when we're in pursuits and stuff like that, we'll come to another video of training about the radio channels. But for now, all you need to worry about is your Z menu, radio channels, and you can change instantly to whatever radio channel you want to. There will be more radio channels coming when we start introducing the RAC and other services that we may require. Leave radio, simply toggle radio off. Moving down into the traffic options, this is something really cool. again, sorry, just touching base on the radio channels, you can click on your radio and do radio volume, and it will turn the volume down on the radio to 20% or whatever radio volume you want it at, so you can lower and increase the volume of the radio. So in your traffic options, you have a traffic 1. This is where you stand at the side of the road. If you want the traffic around you to stop, you put traffic 1. If, for instance, you want the traffic to move slowly in the next lane, you do traffic 2. This will then mean they will move slowly up to 20 or 30 miles an hour, and they will change lane so they don't crash into you. On traffic options, you also have the traffic sign options. So traffic sign 1 makes all the cars stop, and it's got a big red button. Make sure to remove it, you always remove it with the E muscle, and they'll start moving again. Traffic options 2 again makes them move really slowly under a certain miles per hour, and that's where you've got your orange flashing light. Again, these do not move if you crash into them, so make sure you flex your E muscle to remove them. And that concludes the police options in the Radial menu. Thank you very much for listening. See you on the next video.